Lockdown's been really good creative period of time for me to sort of take stock of everything, spend time with the family and the kids, which I don't always get to do because I'm touring. It's been a really good grounding experience for me as a dad and as a musician, and to accept all those things that I've been doing for a long time and sort of see them for what they are and enjoy the fact that I'm at this point in my career. It's been 15 years since my debut album Undiscovered came out. I've been touring all them songs all that time, and they take on a new life on the road. I sort of play them and sing them differently and inhabit them differently. So for me, it was more about giving the fans something new to listen to and sort of bring them up to date with where I'm at and where we're all at. The whole period of time of me making music from the start to now, I feel like they're on that journey with me. So I wanted to give them something to listen to that's fresh for them. It's just about the songs and sort of bringing people on a journey with me and showcasing what I do on the road. Who's Gonna Love Me Now? It is an exciting new tune for me. I really did want to write a song that is good when you're out drunk with your friends, or you're in Ibiza, or you're on holiday. I was thinking of all that stuff. Came together really quick because we knew what we wanted. I knew it was good, but I just carried on writing. Probably about 8 months later, we all came back to it, and it was just one of those songs that was a standout song. I think people are really going to get into the different vibe that it brings, and I think it will bring a fresh audience to my music, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with it as well. Bring some new life into my catalogue and what I'm about and what I do. Don't Mess With Love is a summer tune. I purely wrote it to be on radio in the summer, and it's a sort of mix between Stevie, Lauryn Hill, mixed with the classic sort of traditional chorus. And I think the two mixed together just made a really nice summery classic song. That's kind of all I wanted from it, really. Give the fans something new to hear and then bring them back in with something that feels familiar but is still fresh. I've got really good memories about releasing my first song, You Give Me Something. It's my first song I ever released, for one. Two, it came out in summer, and I went to the local park where I live and put on the radio, and there was so many people sat out. There's thousands of people listening to different radios, and I sat there on a little picnic blanket and I turned it on, and it's still one of the best feelings ever, hearing your song come on radio. But when it's the first time you've ever heard it, there's definitely something really powerful about it. I'll never forget it. You know, no one had a clue that it was me on the radio. No one really cared either, and neither did I. I was just sat there thinking, that's my song and my voice on the radio. And that's kind of the vibe that I take when I sing it live. I just think of that time, and I think of being 21 and the world was at my feet, and I was so naive, but I just loved it. I threw everything into it, and I still really like playing that song now. It brings back a lot of good memories for me. It's nice to re-record it and to look at it again with fresh eyes and fresh ears and bring something new to the table. I still think people are going to always relate to that song, whatever I do with it. Broken Strings started off as like a rock song. I rewrote it a lot of times. The song was always kind of there, but we didn't know how to sort of dress it. And then when we put it out as Broken Strings, a single, it was had a 4-to-the-floor sort of beat, and it really worked really well for me at that time because I didn't have any songs like that. Equally, I always wanted to sort of do it in a way that is more about the song, and the way that I've done it this time just gives the space for the listener to listen to the words and the tune rather than focus on the production. Won't Let You Go, it's got a good message. When I wrote it, I was thinking of my other half, and she was struggling with a lot of different things. It always had an element of truth in it, which is what I liked about it. It's a big anthemic song that you can sort of feel good when you sing it, and the crowd are always on it with that song. When I sing it live, they're always there on it with me. It's sort of them that drives me playing that song still. I know it means a lot to a lot of different people. That's kind of why I like playing it. They're people that are going through their own stuff, and it's always good to hear songs that tip their hat to knowing that that stuff goes on. You Make It Real is one of those songs that just sort of came out early on, really quickly. All I remember was I wanted it to sound like Marvin Gaye, and I was so young, didn't really know how to get that. It is actually one of my favourite songs out of the collection of the songs that we've done, that we've re-recorded. It's slightly more R&B sounding, I think, and more in line with what I wanted to do with it in the beginning, but just didn't really know how to get that. It's a big song for a lot of people, whether it's weddings or date nights or whatever. I think it's a good song for sort of couples, and now I've re-recorded it, I just think it tells the story in a better way. The new version of Please Don't Stop the Rain, it is definitely way more grown up than the first version. I was young and I've lived with the song for a long time, so my band know how to play it live, and we just sat with it, just did the best thing we can do with it, which is play it together live as a band and do it in a way that's a little bit more grown up, a little bit more where I'm at now, really. I'm working with Ryan Tedder. He's a talented songwriter, and he brought a lot of really good things to the table, and I kept all the good bits and just got rid of all the stuff that I didn't think it needed. Yeah, wait till you hear it. I wrote it as a song that I would have sang on my own. I wrote it for my dad. It was always a really personal song to me, but presented in a way that was like a single radio record. It's been really good for me personally to sing a song that is personal by myself and do it the way that I always envisioned it being, which was just me singing it about my dad. I'm really surprised at how heavy it sounds and how meaty it sounds. It's got an emotional content, but it's presented in a really meaty way, and that's what's exciting about it for me, is to be able to bring that soul element back to it, because it's about what it's about, and to own that moment. Too Late for Lullabies has actually always been one of my favourite songs. I think the lyric just says everything it needs to say. When I recorded it the first time, I'd only just learnt the song. It was never perfect in my eyes, but I've lived with it for a long time. I've learned exactly what it's about. Knowing what I need to do to it to make it the best it can be was really enjoyable. I can sing it just as good as some of those soul singers that I love, I think. It's took me a long time to get to that point with my voice, and to feel confident with my voice and not be questioning anything I'm doing. And that song in particular always allows me to sing the way that I want to sing, and that's what I love about it. I still really love this boy, actually. It's like, it's got a naivety about it. That was probably actually the first song I ever wrote with someone else that I'd never worked with before. It's a really personal song. So I'm quite proud that I was able to write something ultra personal with someone I'd never really met. And that's one thing about it that I always liked. My mum never really liked that song. It's quite cutting towards her, I guess. But over time, she's learned to love it, which is good. Because I don't want, no one wants to upset anyone in their family. I went through a lot when I was a kid, and so it was my way of trying to write a song about it without bringing everyone down. And it's definitely something that I've had to deal with over the years, so it's a real thing. The band, they just bring a really good, fresh energy playing it live. The way we did it before was more acoustic-y, and the band came in halfway through, whereas I feel like it's better to just have them from the top and own that moment where you're all strident, and that's what I like about the new version. I love Precious Love. It's one of those songs that just lifts your spirits, I think, for me as well as the person singing it. It's like my version of something gospel-y. It's just one of those songs that's evolved over time. It was quite sort of naive when I first put it down, but now we've been playing it for years. I've got my band on it. It just sounds like a classic song. It's an innocent song, just about knowing that when you've got something like real love to hold on to, it's good. And I needed to hear that at the time. I really enjoyed recording it. I just think it allows me as a singer and a performer to take people to the next level. It reminds me of all the Aretha Franklin stuff and early soul stuff, the Stax stuff, just the way that it's simple but played really well. It's been a really exciting experience and sort of process going through recording them old songs and sort of breathing new life into them. It allowed me to accept myself as an artist as well. I'm just excited to be playing live music, to be ready to go out with songs that people know and play them in a fresh way that people are gonna really enjoy. The songs are still songs, they're still solid, they're still there, and I've just sort of reinterpreted them so that when we go out on tour there's something new, a new way of listening to them. And I sort of sing better than I did before when I was 21. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I loved it. I put everything into it. I'm like the Big Brother version of those songs now. The same passion, but with a little bit more experience brought to the table.